Hi, Grandma Debbie here. Okay, so for tonight's dinner, we're going to be making baked ziti. Now, I've never made baked ziti before, so this recipe really intrigued me. I'm getting it out of Cooking for College, Made Simple. It's a really small little cookbook. I actually picked this up at the dollar store. And I've gotten some really good recipes out of it. I was surprised. So, but that's what we're going to make for dinner tonight. And it sounds like it's going to be great. So I'm going to give it a try. First thing that I've got going on though is I've got my water boiling or getting ready to boil so I can cook the noodles. And the noodles I'm going to be cooking are penne. How do you say that? Penne, I don't know. Whatever. These are the noodles I'm making tonight. And I'm doing, how big? I'm doing one, this says 14 ounces. So, I don't know. But this is what I'm making. All right. So we're going to get going on it. And we'll see where it takes us. Okay. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to chop our onion. Now it calls for a small onion. This isn't exactly a small onion, but it's going to work out just fine. Okay. So I'm just going to put it in my little chopper. All right, we got that done. This is how many onions we ended up with. All right, so we're going to move on to the next thing. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is we're going to shred some mozzarella cheese. We need 2 cups. Okay, that looks about like 2 cups. I didn't measure it. If I need more cheese, I will definitely grate some more. Okay, the next thing we're going to do then is we're going to mix in a bowl what are we going to do? A cup of ricotta cheese, and I'm going to use about half of this container. Then we're going to add an egg. And we're going to add in, I don't know. We're going to add in a half a cup of mozzarella cheese. That looks about right. Let's add a little bit more. All right, and then we need a little bit of salt and pepper. Okay, then we're just going to mix this up. I'm going to move everything out of the way so you can see what I'm doing. Okay, looks like it's pretty well blended. All right, so we now need to get going on the marinara sauce. Okay, so we're going to brown up the hamburger. Now you can also add a little bit of olive oil to this if you want to. I don't really think it needs it, so I'm not going to. So and you're just going to cook the hamburger until it is brown and cooked all the way through. Oh, my hamburgers are still a little frozen. Now it calls for a pound of hamburger, and I'm using 3/4 of a pound. which I think is plenty of meat. But it's up to you. You can use as much as you want. Remember, a recipe is just a guide. Make it your own. And my noodles are almost done. They're just boiling away. Okay, so the hamburger has browned up. And so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a tablespoon of garlic. And I'm just using this kind of garlic. You want minced garlic. And then I'm going to add in our onions. Whoops. Didn't know that was in there. That's the little thing that cleans the other pieces. Didn't notice it. Wow. Okay. All right. We're just going to get this all mixed in. And we're going to cook it. I don't know. I think we cook it until the onions get a little soft. That sounds about right. Yeah, it says to cook it for 2 to 3 minutes. Oh, this smells wonderful. Okay, and now we're going to add in a jar of marinara sauce. Now you can use, if you make homemade, you can use homemade. I'm using Rao's. But like I said, you can use whatever you want to use. And you're just going to let this cook for 10 minutes. Now I do add a little bit of water in here so I can get out all the goodies. Okay, so we're just going to mix this all together. And we're going to let it cook for 10 minutes. Doesn't this look delicious? Okay, so it's been 10 minutes and looks wonderful. It smells great. So we're going to assemble the ziti portion of it. Okay, so we're going to start off by putting a thin layer in our pan, and I'm going to make a humongous mess. Okay, then we're going to add in our noodles. So we're going to do about half. Okay, that looks about right. All right, then we're going to add in half of our ricotta mixture. Now, my husband's not a fan of ricotta cheese, so don't tell him that there's ricotta in this. Okay, that's about half. Then we're going to add half of the cheese. And I did this backwards. It should have been the meat sauce, I believe, but that's okay. think, let me read the instructions again. No, I'm doing it correct. I don't know what I'm thinking. So you're going to add half of the meat mixture. Boy, I'm going to need to wipe off my pan before I get it into the oven because I have spilt all over the place. Ooh, this smells so good, guys. All right, and now we're going to repeat. So we're going to add the remaining noodles. Kind of want to get them all spread out. We're going to do the remaining ricotta. We're going to add the remaining cheese. I think I'm going to shred some more because I don't think that's enough. And I still have to do some more cheese on top. Okay, then we're going to do the remaining meat sauce. Now this recipe would be great for leftovers, or if you're going to have friends over, because you can also make it up ahead of time and then pop it in the oven when your friends arrive, when your guests arrive. Okay. So now we're going to sprinkle some Parmesan cheese. Now I didn't get fresh because, well, I thought I had it and it was a different kind of cheese. So that's okay. In a pinch, I'm just going to use this. It melts just fine. And then I'm going to do some more cheese. Okay, so this is going to go into a 375-degree oven for 20 minutes. It says to cover it with aluminum foil. I'm not doing that. I'm just putting the casserole lid on. That'll be fine. Then you're going to take it off and cook it for another 10 to 15 more minutes. Okay, so once it's done, I'll let you know. Okay, so I got this out of the oven. It's bubbling. It's all nice and hot. It's browned on top. So I did at 375, 20 minutes with the lid on. And then I actually ended up doing 15 minutes with the lid off to get it to look like this. So it smells wonderful. I can't wait to dig into it. So I just want to thank you for coming along with me on this journey. It's been fun. I've never made this recipe before, so it was a first for me. But it smells wonderful, and it does take a little bit of time to put it together, mainly because of all the different steps that you have to take. So I wouldn't say that this is a weeknight meal. Wouldn't say that at all. But because of the amount of food there is, the recipe says this feeds 6. I'm thinking, yeah, probably more than 6. So we're going to have it for dinner. Then it will be leftovers tomorrow night, and whatever we don't eat will probably end up in the freezer for another meal. Because there's a ton there. It's a lot of food. But you know what? If you're having guests, make it up ahead of time and put it in the freezer, or the freezer, the refrigerator. And then when your guests get here, pull it out, warm it up, warm up get the stove going, the oven, not the stove, the oven, and pop it in there, and you're at dinner. Add a salad to it, and maybe some French bread. What a meal, right? I did make a few little changes to the recipe. I'm going to post the original recipe from the cookbook that I got it from. The changes that I made was I didn't add the seasonings that it asked for. It asked for oregano and parsley, oregano and basil. I didn't add that because I always feel that the marinara sauce that we use has enough seasoning, so I didn't add it. But you are more than welcome to add it if that's what you want to do. I just didn't do it. But I'm also thinking this would probably be a good recipe with all kinds of other types of pasta. It's up to you what kind of pasta you really truly want to use. This kind of reminds me of a recipe I did years ago. I did a baked spaghetti. It's kind of, I think, similar to what I did then. So I'm going to have to find that recipe. Not sure where I have it at, but I'm going to have to find it and make it so that we can compare. All right. Well, I hope that everything's going great for you, that you're having an amazing day. And once again, hit that like, hit the subscribe, hit the share button, and I will talk to you soon. Bye.